I'm Vicky.
I'm Jan.
And today our topic is understanding suicide in Japan, and we are going to present it in a news report. So let's start now. Ohayou gozaimasu.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Vivian. Japan is highly developed, but its soaring suicide rate is worth studying. It is not difficult for us to find research papers based on this topic. And this issue is going to be discussed in today's program. So let's watch a short video first.
Japan has one of the highest suicide rates in the entire world. Last year, over 35,000 people committed suicide in this country, which is roughly the same number that took their lives in the United States, except Japan has about half the population of the U.S. It's often said that you can talk to just about anybody in Japan, and they'll know of somebody who's committed suicide. I found that to be true in many ways.
You may now have a better concept on the suicide problem in Japan. And today we're happy to have Mr. an expert in this field, and Mr. Suzuki, who is working part-time now and has attempted suicide 2 years ago, to discuss with us.
Let's take a look at this board. As shown at this board, according to the World Health Organization, Japan ranked number 8 in the world, but it ranked the highest among all the developed countries. So why would this happen?
We will discuss the reason why people in Japan commit suicide and look more into the ratio of male to female committing suicide. Let's have a look at this board. Can you guess which 3 reasons contribute to the high rate of suicide in Japan?
I guess, would it be about the relationship with friends and family? 3 years ago, I had poor relationship with my family. I felt very hopeless and frustrated. I tried to end my life by cutting my wrist.
We feel sorry to hear your experience, and it is a good guess, but it is not the highest but ranked the 3rd. Actually, it is only 14% of people commit suicide because of family-related problem. Economic problem ranked the number 2, with 22% of people commit suicide because of this problem. Among all individuals, over half of them commit suicide because of unemployment, while health problem is placed at the top of the chart. Up to 47% of people try to end their life when they encounter health problems mentally and physically, in which most of them suffer from depression.
We can now look into how family problems contribute to self-murder. Mr. Suzuki, you said you have poor relationship with your family. Can you tell us more on that?
Sure. Before my company went out of business, I have to get up early and return home late. I don't really have time for family activities, not even a short chat.
Most of the Japanese salarymen need to go to work for long hours every day, and in most cases, many go to work before their family get up and often return home late at night when their family has already gone to bed. Therefore, they seldom spend time on their family on weekday. While at weekend, the working people may need to go to the nomikai or work beyond the working hours, which is called zangyo. As they do not have time for participating in their family activities, eventually they face a wider and wider relationship gap with their family. They may also feel that they are not seen as a family member, and it is hard to integrate into it. On one hand, the salarymen may feel lonely, but on the other, their wives and children may feel disappointed at this relationship. As men feel depressed, which increases the chance of them to committing suicide.
So what about women? What is the relationship between family problems and they commit suicide?
As mentioned before, because of their husband's heavy workload, women will feel frustrated easily since they seldom meet their husband. At the same time, monotonous housework and the need of taking good care of the whole family build up great pressure on women. When women have to face all of this frustration and pressures at the same time, it is possible that part of the woman will end up their lives by committing suicide.
Besides family problems, other reasons can also lead to gender roles in Japan, as we can see from this board. The proportion of men committing suicide is much higher than that of women. This large difference can be seen obviously when we're talking about the financial problems.
Among all people committing suicide due to financial problem, 90.2% are male, while only 9.8% are female. As we all know that Japan's economy is now facing a downturn. Unemployment is increasing. More people are not able to earn enough. Mr. Suzuki, is this one of the reasons why you commit suicide?
Yes, I did not graduate from an elite university. I was not able to enter those large corporations. And finally, I got into a company with smaller scale. My salary is much lower than that offered by those large corporations, and also with less promotion opportunities. Last month, my corporation shut down due to economic downturn. I tried hard to find another job, but I am now in middle age and I do not have a degree from the top-ranking universities. Hardly can I find another job. So now I can only work some part-time jobs in the company. Without a stable income, it is extremely difficult for me to make both ends meet.
Yes, since Japan is a population country, the universities that people graduate from is really important for their futures and careers. Only the graduates from the elite universities can enter the prestigious corporations like Sony or Toyota. These corporations provide their employees lifetime employment, high salaries, and other monetary or non-monetary benefits. On the other hand, those who graduated from low-rank universities, they can only enter into some small corporations and are not likely to enjoy all the benefits that's given by the large companies. During the economic downturn, these small-scale corporations are likely to suffer more, and they will reduce their corporation costs by dismissing their employees. They may also become reluctant to recruit new staffs. The unemployment population will thus increase. The unemployment will pose difficulties on individuals in making a living, create burdens on them. It is also increasing people's chance of committing suicide.
The economic downturn really affects the Japan economy a lot. I believe the low production costs in China and mechanization also main factors in raising the unemployment rates, right?
Yes. Some Japanese companies need to cut their expenses on labor because of these two reasons. Besides, the males in Japan are always being the breadwinner of the family. They have high pressure on supporting the daily expenses of the family, such as paying kids' tuition fee or buying a house. When they cannot afford these expenses, they may borrow loans from finance companies. As they do not want to bother their suiti, which most probably be their relatives or friends, they choose to end up their lives if they cannot pay back the debt, so that the insurance compensation received can repay to that.
And many of the Japanese women, like my wife and my mother, do not have to go to work after they get married, or some may just do some ippanshoku or part-time jobs. So the financial burden is always on the man's side. I think it is the reason why there is such large difference between male and female percentage. Women's stress is probably due to other factors, maybe family.
Besides financial problem, health problem is also a great issue for Japan. It ranked #1 among all reasons for committing suicide. However, the proportion between men and female is not as obvious as the previous one. I guess it's probably related to the aging population in Japan. As the aging population increases, the number of elderly suffering from health problems also increase. When they cannot withstand this pain, they may try to end their life by themselves.
And I think mental suffering is as common as the physical suffering nowadays. The pace of the society increases and people are experiencing a high pressure. Cases for males are especially serious because they have to face stress from workplace, family, or even social expectation. CUHK JASP1010 is also very common in Japan. Once my colleague ended his life because he could no longer withstand the pressure from the heavy workload. While women mainly face stress from families such as monotonous housework and physical health.
Depression may be derived from heavy workload. Besides, male in workplace with such high workload may also lead to some kinds of physical problems like spine illness and heart disease, in which this kind of physical illness may in turn lead to mental illness, which increase the tendency for one to commit suicide.
Hong Kong is also a highly developed city, but compared to Japan, it only ranked 24 in the international suicide ranking. What makes this difference, Mr.?
Well, it's probably related to their traditional no mindset. And in other era, Japanese appreciate Bushido. Death was not applied to them. And in some conditions, killing themselves is considered as a symbol of braveness. This mindset persisted in nowadays Japanese society. Moreover, they think that committing suicide is an act to show their responsibility to their own action, and is a way of solving the problem faced. I believe you may also know the situation in Hong Kong. What do you think?
Yeah, in Hong Kong, people do not have Bushido concept. They don't think that suicide is a responsible action. They think that suicide is just a way to escape from the difficulties and the reality. Moreover, when they get fired, as mid-career change is more common in Hong Kong, people are always ready to seek for new jobs. Therefore, the problem of unemployment leading to suicide is not the main reason in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's government financial aid is also a window for poor people. Although they may not have as much money as those with a normal job, but the aid is enough for them to make their living. However, in Japan, there are not as much financial aid as in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong people are less likely to become helpless when they have financial problems.
Moreover, some Japanese people may be trapped into heavy debts. When they cannot repay the debt, they will try to shoulder the responsibility for paying back the money by committing suicide, so that the compensation from a life insurance can be used to cover the debt. Thus, self-murder may be considered as a way out of the heavy debt.
And when I feel depressed, I don't know who to turn to. I thought if I tell others my pain, I will place burden on them. And my pride didn't allow me to do so, so I felt very frustrated, suppressed, and helpless.
Yes, this is very common in Japan. People always avoid telling their own feeling. They try not to bring any trouble to others, so they always get extremely suppressed. But on the other hand, social workers in Hong Kong always try to provide help to people in need. And Hong Kong people are more willing to express their feelings and opinion, so they seldom get suppressed to such a serious extent like the Japanese.
Absolutely.
Before this program ends, let me make a short conclusion. Family, financial, and health problems contribute most to the high suicide rate in Japan. Among those individuals committing suicide, over 70% are males. Women commit suicide mainly due to health and family problems, while men mainly due to the financial problems. On the other hand, men in society are facing high pressure, no matter in workplace, society, or no exception from their families. This pressure may increase one's tendency to commit suicide.
Besides, if they fail to have a degree from those elite universities, they can hardly find a job in those prestigious firms and have a bright future. This may make them to feel hopeless and thus end their lives. Furthermore, Japan has the highest suicide rate in Hong Kong. This is because of the different mindset for people in the two places, and also the different extent of financial support from the government.
This is the end of today's program. Thank you so much for Mr. and Mr. Suzuki joining us today. And thank you for watching our program.
では、またお会いしましょう。